Welcome to my favorite nonprofit radio segment called Nonprofits Care. Their causes are really extraordinary.
Good morning and welcome to my show. My name is Ralph Grills. I'm the founder of My Favorite Nonprofit, and our show is Nonprofits Who Care. And care is causes are really extraordinary. I'm here with Lena Nee, our co-host. Good morning, Lena.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm grateful, thank you.
Very good. And we are lucky today to have a very special guest, AJ Stapleton. AJ is the founder of 3T Ministries. And AJ, tell us a little bit about 3T Ministries and how you founded it and what actually you guys do there.
Good morning. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show, Ralph.
Oh, you're welcome.
Just really excited. I think where to start. I think my memories take me back to 2007 when I was serving in the Border Inner City Health Center, and that's where 3T Ministry kind of started. And it felt a little bit like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, and I kept watching what was going on. And one of the events they had there was trying to put an event together for kids to give away bikes. And I'm new to the scene, knew what was going on. The board issued a challenge to get some bikes out there, and then still not understanding what was going on. But the board brought 7 bikes. Got to go to the event, and I go, wow! I mean, it was 1 o'clock. All the bikes are gone, and there's still kids hanging out. I'm like, we could do better than that. I mean, as a board, as an individual, we could do better than 7 bikes. There's a total of maybe a couple hundred bikes present, but there were still kids. I mean, 1 o'clock, you still have a line of children waiting for bikes, and I'm going, wow. So I took it upon myself the next following year just to say, if I call all my friends, if I call people from my church, what could we do? And, just from the spiritual standpoint, I was like, I know that I can do much better than 7 bikes.
Right. Little
to know that I raised 139 bikes the first year. So I was like, wow. And to be honest with you, I mean, about 100 bikes just came within 1 hour.
Really?
I just stood in the church and I said, I had a goal of 100 bikes. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I'm at 35. And within an hour, people were coming out of the church and telling me, oh, I forgot about it, let me go home. And they went home and they came back with bikes. And by the time we done counting, it was 139 bikes. And I was like, wow, this is amazing, Still, the need was greater. We showed up to the next event. This was 2008. And I tell you, there's still children missing out. And I was like, wow.
So this was before you started 3T Ministries, right?
Yeah, right. I would have led to become 3T Ministry. And so that was 2008, 2009, so I started giving away bikes. And in 10, I had a friend who's my partner in this 3T Ministry, Rob Seidel, comes to my office and says, the famous words that we've been kidding around forever, says, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, I should have said, no, don't ask me any questions. But he said, can I ask you a question? And I say, sure. He goes, why haven't you made it a nonprofit? I'm like, make what a nonprofit? He says, well, we collect bikes in the summer months, in the good weather months, and in the winter we collect coats and we give away to kids and families. And why haven't you made it a nonprofit? I'm like, well, the thought has crossed my mind. But I probably didn't have the motivation, the incentive. I probably didn't feel like I knew where I was going to do or where I was going to go with it. So I decided to pray for the next 7 days. I kept praying and looking for answers and ways that would guide me to where I was supposed to be doing. And I tell you, every day it was just more and more clear that I was to do this, not so much as a nonprofit, but this was probably the path. Not probably, it was the path that I was to take. It was to go ahead and take this and make it a nonprofit, a place where I can really have an organization and a place where I can just delegate from there and go on and serve the people more so than, be expected just to do what I do my day-to-day job.
Right.
It just felt great. That was 2010, November 23rd or 24th, I escapes my mind, but it was when we just really opened the doors. I tell you how blessed we were. I mean, we met with some people. Friends of ours were in the accounting field, friends of ours in the legal field, that advised me on how to fill out all the paperwork, and within 1 month after we filed the paperwork, we received our designation for nonprofit.
In 1 month?
In 1 month.
Wow.
I understand.
I know people that waited 6 months to get that designation.
The gentleman that did our accounting, he works for one of the largest firms here for BKD, one of the largest firms in the United States, and he was like, you're looking at 8 to 12 months before you get, I just could not believe. I mean, it seems like every T was crossing, you kind of get that encouragement that this is really meant to be.
Right.
When things happen that way, you're like, okay, I'm in the right path. And then, from there on, that's how the beginning is. That's how we started. And from there on, we've just been very committed. Myself personally, and my partner, Robert Seidel, and the hundreds of volunteers. We have so many people from our parish, so many people from the community, the Highlands Ranch, Lone Tree, that just come out and help us, give us a hand, from fixing bikes on the weekends to organizing events at their churches, at their schools, to collect bikes, to collect coats in the winter months, just so many things. So many places are just so behind us and so supportive. It feels great.
That's great. Now, you call the organization 3T Ministries, and you're doing bikes for kids. Why not bikes for kids? Why 3T Ministry? You get a lot of people ask you that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And as a consequence of being asked that question so many times, he goes, I don't get it. You're a 3T ministry, but what does it have to do with bikes?
Right.
I don't see bikes. And so I'm going to make segue note is we created a program and we called it Project Recycle. Project Recycle is a program of 3T Ministry, which all it has to do is with bikes. And we wear a jersey, our biking jerseys, and we wear our T-shirts that have Project Recycle.
Like the one you have on now?
Like the one I have right now.
Right.
Yes. We
wear
wear
video
to give people an idea of now I relate it, because 3T Ministry stands. We took the T's that looks like crosses. I'm Catholic, So for me it was very symbolic, and for me it meant personally never too late to change your life. Instead of taking, you have a chance to give. So I was like, okay, never too late for me to change my life. Number two, the T's, I took the analogy of trash to treasures that I read from a poem in one time. I go, one means trash is another means treasure.
Right.
So I go, well, I will be offending a lot of people if I say, hey, can I have your trash? When you want to give away a bike. So I said, we got to find something that just, says it, but it doesn't say it at all. And so we just call it 3T. We knew what it meant, but we changed it to treasures to treasure. In reality, it's built upon that phrase. One means trash, another means treasure. I just felt that, simple. It doesn't cost people anything. People love the idea. It doesn't cost them anything to just say, AJ, I got a bike for you. And they love to give. I think it just freely comes in naturally. I'm not doing anything with it. It's been in my garage for 2 years.
It's been sitting there.
Yeah, my kids haven't used it. What a great idea. Let me get it out of my garage and let me give it to you. So it's great to have that, and Project Recycle is really giving us that face that perhaps 3T was confusing people. 3T will always belong and be the entity, and some of the things will fall under 3T. But Project Recycle now gives the entity the identity that we have a bike program. We're looking for a name for our coat program for the winter. So
I was just going to ask you that. What do you call the coats?
If you guys can think of it, maybe we can do a contest around it or something. For the listeners, maybe you guys.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Log in the website and let us know. Hey, this is what I think. Call the show. I don't know. What we can do, but.
What's your website?
The website is www.3tministry.org. But you can also find us as 3tministry.com. We make sure 3T Ministries.
So you got all the extensions.
We got all the extensions.
But .org is the one that's the main one.
.org is the main one. The same thing, you can find us as projectrecycle.org. We have it all. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. The support comes from different places, and we're very excited to be able to, to do that. So if you can help us find the name for our code program, we'll be glad to give, if you're with a company, an entity, we'll be glad to give you credit for that.
Very good. Now, do you have any events coming up? Because I know I went to your last event, which you had over at the Landmark, which was the comedy show. That was great. You raised a few dollars there, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. Our gross was $6,500. The first time ever.
Well, that's excellent. Yeah.
The Landmark Wendy, she was instrumental. She was great at giving us a very low cost on the ticket. So we were excited about that, and we were able to get a couple hundred people to the place and to have dinner. And so
you had a good showing. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
You had a good time. Yeah, I had a good time. I was just running around being all tense. But what we got coming up right now is exciting. About middle of July, I get a call from Tony's Markets. Tony's Markets is one of our great supporters. They open all the 4 store locations to receive bikes. So if you
can drop a bike at Tony's now?
Yeah, if you go to a website, it says on the side, it says drop off locations, and Tony's Markets receive all the bikes for us. They hold them out, they give me a call, says, hey, Jim, we got 2 bikes, we got 4 bikes, we got 7 bikes. We just make the drive on Wednesdays, this is when we pick up bikes throughout the Denver metro area, and we pick them up from Tony's. Well, Mr. Tony Rosacci, via Linnea Lewison, who is our market director, give me a call here sometime in July and say, hey, AJ, we have our annual Tony's to Tony's bike ride. It's a bike ride 73 miles, and you go from one restaurant to another, from one of the markets to the other next market.
Oh, so they kind of do a tour of the Tony's meat markets.
Yeah, a tour of the Tony's meat markets, and you get fed. And at the end, you get a good meal and lavish spirits. Let's leave it that way. But every year they raise money for a charity, and I got called and I told it, you know, that we were the charity of choice this year. And
Oh, when is that?
it is September 30th, Sunday, September 30th.
September 30th.
Yeah, we start sometime about 8:30 in the morning, and you're right about 71, 73, stopping in all the restaurants, all the markets that they have. They'll feature each one of them. So by the time we get done, usually, you know, you go back around maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's where we have the sit-down kind of lunch with cocktails, and that's what they announce. You know, get a little bit of a credit to the sponsors, to the people that support us, and they have us as the charity, the receiving charity present at around 3 o'clock or so. It's going to be all day. I did it last year. It was the second year they did it, and I did it for the first time, and I tell you, it was exciting. It was just such an energy. They only limited to about 200 riders.
Right.
Because everything's included.
How much does it cost to do it?
$50.
$50.
You get a free jersey from Tony's. This year they've done it. They have some sponsors. But for all you eat, for all you get with that $50, it's one of those, the only ride I think in Denver where you gain weight instead of losing weight.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like you lose weight on this one.
No, definitely gain weight on this one. And the link to sign up for that, if you go to our website, there's a connection right there to them, to Tony's. It's only open until Friday. They already reached the 200 mark riders, but they were kind and gracious enough to leave it open for a couple more days just because, you know, they knew we were doing a few things, and I had some people that showed some interest and said, hey, you know, I went in there and it was already sold out. I said, oh, well, let's see what we can do. And so it's been great. So if you have a chance to sign in, you'll get in by Friday. If not, the link will be gone. But go
So
to our
it'll be
website.
this Friday?
Yeah, go to our website, www.3tministry.org, and sign up in there.
So it's this Friday, August 31st, will be the last day that you can sign up to go on the Tony's Meat Market, right?
Yeah, I
Very
guarantee
good.
you have a great time.
That sounds like it. You are the charity that they're sponsoring. This
Yes,
one.
we're
So you'll
so
be the
thankful. So
benefactor.
that's the event that we have coming up.
Excellent.
Early right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of good things.
Who are the children that are recipient of the bikes?
Oh, wonderful. You know, actually, we have one of our volunteers, our blogger. She put in our main page last night. It was just released, one of our blogs. It shows all the folks that we've been able to help out between July and August. I think we given away over 150 or 150 bikes just this past 2 months. You're talking about folks. One of them is 2 children at KIPP charter school in Denver off of Alameda and Tejon. 2 children that their basketball coach calls me. These kids would stay for football practice, and they've been practicing with him for basketball this summer. He goes, these kids take a bus 1 hour each direction.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, they're that committed. Well, you know, that's the only way the parents can afford to get these kids to the school, which is a charter school. We don't pay anything for it. But the coach was, you know, kind of concerned. Says, these kids can get to us 15 minutes on a bike.
Wow.
So we issue some challenges. You know, one of the things that we do at 3T is we make sure that we just don't gift the bike. Just say, here you go and have it, because we feel that there's no pride of ownership. We try to either create something around it, whether it's, you know, share a can of food with us and we'll give it to a food bank, or have some sort of project with the schools that, you know, increase your grade level, lose some weight, you know, something that is, it's going to make the child a better person, and then they'll have pride of ownership when they receive the bike. So these 2 kids, the coach set up some challenges for them. There's actually 6 kids. 2 of them step up to the challenge. The 2 kids that are, you know, an hour on a bus, and you know, just 2-3 weeks ago, I went and delivered 2 bikes to them. I'm gonna pictures on the website.
That's awesome.
That's one of the kids that we give to. Ridgeway, which just closed their doors. It was a center for teenagers and moms that are having problems. We went to their annual or the last picnic they put together, and we surprised, you know, the moms and the kids with bikes for everyone. You know, we brought about 42 bikes. We actually brought some 27 at the first, and there was more people there, and they're like, oh, I want a bike too. My kids don't have a bike. And we're like, no worries. You know, we have currently we have over 600 bikes on stock, you know, in our warehouses, but in our storage units. You should call our warehouse our storage units. So the issue is not with getting them the bikes, the issue was getting them fixed. So we're like, okay, we have this long list of orders of people that requested bikes, but we jumped up right away and figured, you know, we got to get it to them because they already saw how it feels. Some of them, these kids already walked away with bikes. And there's, you know, I don't know how many more there was, 14, 15, or 20 more people that didn't have them. So we went ahead and fixed them up. I know that at the end we delivered 42 total bikes to this group.
Well, that's fantastic.
And it goes on and on like that. It's just, different places, and I'm just trying to, right now, yesterday I delivered about 18 bikes to refugee children from Asia and from Africa. There is a group out
Here in Denver?
in Aurora.
Really?
In Aurora, off of and I don't know how much we can can share, but it's off of I'll use locations like off of Colfax and 225.
Yeah, over by the hospital there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of buildings, really tall buildings. So we went and met with the kids about a month ago, and I met with the gentleman that has Jeff Price. It's a very faithful gentleman. He reached out to us and said, "This is who I work with. I go and fix his kids' bikes." But when I went there and I looked at this bikes were pieces of metal. They weren't bikes. And I told Jeff, we can do better than this. I'll bring you the bikes. I'll give you a fresh start. You'll have new bikes for these kids, repair bikes, and then you can start fixing them from this point forward. Because
So this guy was already doing this?
He was trying to fix bikes.
And then he got hooked up with you?
Yeah, he goes, I don't have enough bikes. And when I really looked at him, they really got, in our conditions and while we would look at them, this were more dangerous than beneficial, because these bikes, we're like, oh man, some of them...
They weren't even safe then?
Yeah, some of them...
Brakes weren't working?
Exactly, the kids using the bottom of the feet as brakes, so I'm like, let us, and he liked it. He came and worked one day fixing bikes with us. He was really excited about it. And yesterday we delivered those bikes to him, and I know that he's still gonna follow up, because about a month ago we met with these kids and we gave them a challenge. The kids were number one, they were for the whole month to really listen to mom and dad. That was number one. Number two, they had to have pride in their community, so they had to clean up the surroundings of their apartment complex.
Nice.
Oh, very good.
So there's some goal.
So you made them earn the bikes, so
yes,
it wasn't just giving it to them.
We learned that lesson when we went to South Dakota to do a delivery, one of the what do we call them, missions or places where we went up in South Dakota. Reservations. In the reservation, a lady that was running the place up there, taught us a lesson. She goes, no matter how little they give, as long as they give, they'll have pride in it. She says, if we've given enough to them that if it's free, we'll find it thrown away in the streets. And she was talking about...
Yeah, you probably just seen laying on the ground somewhere.
And I was like, wow, we do that right here. We weren't thinking we were hurting them, we were thinking we were helping them. But in reality, we were hurting these people, that we were given to. So from that point forward, when we came back, we decided, Robert and I, we decided to say, you know what, we got to find a way. And so first, we started with a can of food. You want to get a bike, get us a can of food. And that can of food was given, we gave the bikes away in Denver. We received the food in Denver. We took it over to Douglas County Task Force. So we wanted to have that bridge between inner city and suburbia. And that was kind of working great, because not only were the bikes we were getting from suburbia, so we took the bikes and gave them to Denver, inner city, got the food and gave it back to. There's some communities that are struggling, food-wise here in Douglas County. So truly exciting to see it work back and forth. Not only from a perspective of food, and we decided some other things. We have an event. It's not finalized yet. Right now, we're putting it all together. We have set a date of May 18, 2013 with Abird Elementary School in Lakewood off of Colfax and Keepling. And I met with the principal about a week or so ago, and we decided that we're going to come up with some sort of improvement schedule for the kids. So if they improve their grade level, or they improve in some sort in their school and academics, we will come and give them a bike. This is also, half of the lunches are free.
So if they're getting better grades, they're going to say, you're going to earn a bike.
You're going to earn a bike.
You're going to improve your school academics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We want to make sure they just don't get it, because, he can just show up and say, well, I want a bike.
Right.
What's the purpose? We want to have some sort of purpose of, we don't want to be just saying, okay, everyone's going to have to bring one can of food, or everyone's have to increase grade. But we're going to go where we're going, and we're going to decide. Yesterday also as well, we deliver, I'm sorry, because all these numbers are just fresh on my head, but sometimes I'm trying to remember how many we did. We did 22 bikes over at the Jefferson County Social Services Office. A friend of ours, Luella Getz, she called and said, I have all these kids that are graduating from they're in orphan homes, now when they foster homes.
Foster homes, yeah.
Foster homes. And you know, these kids need transportation maybe to get to school or to get to work. You know,
Right.
graduating. They're some of them are close to 18, some are under 18. And you know, she made this point of you know, we need these bikes for these kids, and it'll be a good incentive for them, you know, to do certain things. And so we deliver those bikes, and she's holding them out in a room, and she's going to make sure that they've done the things that we're supposed to earn them. So sometimes we've got to leave it in the hands of the people because they'll know best what is needed. You know, I cannot tell those kids to increase their grade levels to get a bike because they probably need the bikes for a different reason, like to get to work. And so sometimes the centers or the places we go to, they will know better. They will know better what you know, what they need to do to earn a bike. You know, but we're trying to work it so that it's always something has to be done to earn a bike, not just to get it. We won't charge you anything. We literally won't charge you anything. We don't. I mean, everything comes from donations or money we raise.
I was just going to ask you, how is your funds raised? So it's through donation, individual donations?
There's never enough, you know.
Right.
Even in the nonprofit world, there's never enough. I mean, we've been gracious enough, but as we work with 4 Walmarts now, and 4 of the Walmarts this past month, the 4 Walmarts have, you know, just a number figure right now, 54 bikes, I think it was, 54 bikes that we collected.
Oh, so Walmart's donating bikes from there?
Walmart's donate to us any
Oh,
bike
that's
that is
great.
broken down,
Mhm.
any bike that it has been returned and it won't be sold again.
Mhm.
These 4 Walmarts have that, you know, they feel comfortable working with us, you know, in getting us those bikes, you know, to us to make sure that we can get them back out to the kids. So that's great. I mean, I do my rounds every Wednesday, and sometimes I walk with 1 bike, sometimes I walk out with 7.
Mhm.
Sometimes I walked out of there at the beginning, sometimes with like 29 bikes out of 1 Walmart, because they're like, you know, hey, we were having them hanging up here, but we're really, you know, they were broken down. We just, you know, we were going to throw them away. So
That's great that you're able to get those now.
it's been great. That relationship has been great. So having those bikes, now we have an excess of bikes in our storage, you know, facilities, and so there's never enough money. There really isn't, because even though we got the bikes, now we need the money for parts. Sometimes we got to tear apart a bike,
Mhm.
and we tear that bike apart, and we use all those parts to fix another bike, which is not bad. It's not bad. I mean, you know, we got a bike for free, so might as well take that bike, you know, and take all the parts and give 2 or 3 good bikes away, than, you know, to give out 2 or 3 half-made-out bikes, or half-fixed bikes.
So who fixes the bikes?
Myself, Robert, and the numerous volunteers. I mean, there's days when we have 12 guys at the storage unit helping us on Saturday to fix bikes.
Oh, okay.
You know, we send emails to our email distribution, and we say, okay, guys, Saturday from 8 to noon, we're gonna be fixing bikes.
So you have a fixed bike day and they come out?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like Project Here is sorts of medical supplies.
Yeah, there you go.
guys
Just
fix
like
the
that.
bikes.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
Yeah.
we just trying to see what we can do. And then some days when it's just myself and Robert, we just show up and we just get our hands dirty and we just, you know, get it done. We will always need more help. I mean, it always seems like we have a lot. Sometimes it seems like we have numerous people showing up, but it's never enough, because when you have so many bikes, and I have no problem picking them up, I have no problem getting into groups, but if I can't get them fixed in the middle, I can't get them out as fast as we have them coming in.
Right.
So that's a big thing that we need right now.
So do you have a backlog in your storage?
Yes, right now what we do, yeah, I have wait lists of kids that have requested bikes that we got to gradually, I mean, this weekend where we're going to work, we're like, okay, we also need some time to our families, and so,
And you have a full-time job as well, right?
amen.
Yeah. You're not getting paid for this.
No, I don't get paid for this
Yeah.
at all. I mean, no one gets paid, including the people that work with us or volunteer with us. We try to hire an administrative assistant. We said, we'll find the money. She stepped up and said, no, you know, I don't want you to pay me. I believe in what you do, and I want to be part of this. And I was like, wow, how great is this?
So you're like an all-volunteer organization.
It completely, I mean, at this point.
So all the monies is going toward the bikes and repairing the bikes
All the money's going in.
and get them to the
That's
kids.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and if we've done some wonderful things, you know, the company I work for, American Family Insurance, they sponsor the helmets this year.
Mhm.
So, you know, they give us some money to sponsor the helmets. We're looking for some t-shirt sponsors. You know, we'd like to print out some more of these t-shirts because it's getting a lot of recognitions. I went to the school the other night for my daughters, you know, back to school kind of thing.
Right.
For my daughters. And I can see the teachers talking about it, and then I asked one of my daughters, she's like, hey, some of the teachers were pointing to us and talking, and she goes, Dad, I mean, how many hits? She calls it hits. I'm like, what's a hit? She goes, well, on the computer how you get hits on Facebook? She goes, you know how many hits I get at school for the t-shirt? I'm like, no, tell me. She goes,
awesome.
Dad, I mean, I got, some of her friends wear them too. She goes, teachers come up and says, what's Project Recycle? Why do you have a heart in a bike, and what's that all about?
I'm sure you get a lot of questions, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of neat. So it's kind of neat that people recognize it, so we figured, that's a good marketing tool for us. It's been a good marketing tool. We're giving a t-shirt out, and then we're asking them to wear it, and it erases that kind of questions, and it's double our presence on the website as well. It's double our people coming to our website. It's
Double the hits.
Yeah, double the hits. Thanks.
There you go. She's got the hits. Yeah.
Pink.
Helena's on it.
We wear every color. We have
Is it,
pink, light blue, gold, and fluorescent.
Nice.
We have a fluorescent green, safety green or whatever, that's very
Can
80s.
people purchase it?
Well, people could purchase them. We were selling them, the first round, we were selling some of them for $10 a piece, because that was our cost. Right now, we're just looking to see if we can reduce our cost.
Mhm.
See if we can put a sponsor, we'd love to put a sponsor on the back of the t-shirts. And then just, publicize, and then that way we don't have to charge anybody. We can just go ahead and give them to you, especially if you want to wear them, if you want to support us, we want you wearing them.
We'll talk more after the show,
Yeah.
because I have a outlet for t-shirts that we
Oh,
could talk to you about,
That's
so.
great.
Is it mostly the people who donate bikes? Is it just not kids? Or any kind of bike? You take any kind of bike?
Yes, any kind of bike. Yesterday I made my round and I picked up some kids' bikes and then some adult. I picked like 3 or 4 adult bikes. It just doesn't.
Women,
Yeah,
men,
women,
it
men.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Mhm.
10 speed. I'm using the term 10 speed, but road cycles.
People are like, 10 speed, what's that? You're
You need
dating
to
yourself.
hold it, I know, you need to hold
Hey, you're
it.
dating yourself there, AJ.
Road bikes. We take road bikes. We
Uh-huh.
take mountain bikes. We take CrossFit, type of bikes, tricycles. Little kids bike, any size, from small. We got 12-inch bikes all the way up, to the 26. And
So you do bikes for adults as well as kids then?
yeah, it is not our forte, but if we had several parents say, "Hey, can I have a bike? I want to ride with my kids." What am I going to say?
Right.
That's a good point,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I want you to exercise as well. I want you to take care of this kid. I want you to have this kids out there. So I'm going to give you a bike.
They're not able to afford a bike for their kid, they're probably not able to afford a bike for themselves.
Yeah, it is heart-wrenching. And it just breaks your heart when you talk to a parent and says, I have not been able to buy my kids something that, they deserve as a kid. And I remember this clearly last year. This lady come up to me and she didn't have the kids there, so we couldn't get on the bikes. Because I'm like, ma'am, we can't give you bikes just so you can take with you, because we don't know what sizes the bikes that you need are. So bring the kids, we'll get them. She goes, well, I cannot get my kids. So I told her, well, here's my number, here's my name. A week later, she called me. She asked me if I can come by. I said, no problem, I understand, I have low means. So I came to her, I looked at all her kids, took the measurements, and then within a week, I came back with the bike, and she said, you have no idea how many times I had to make the choice of, do I feed the kids? It's a single parent mom.
Right.
Do I feed the kids? Or do I go, she goes, even going to,
Any kind of activity.
any kind of
A movie,
activities,
maybe. Yeah.
Something. It's
Dinner
just
or a movie.
impossible. It's
Not dinner
impossible
and a
for her.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's impossible for her. So,
Right.
so she was just ecstatic. She goes, even I can go to a pawn shop and try to find a bike there. He goes, it still costs me money, but that I don't have. They were grateful. She was totally grateful. I remember the first day she was a little apprehensive because she couldn't believe that I was going to give her any bikes.
Mhm.
She took it a little personal. She called. She couldn't believe that we were following through on it, and she's become a great, ally. But she was just all smiles. She's just so ecstatic that we brought the bikes for her kids and we fed.
I'm sure that's what makes it rewarding for you to do this, is
Oh.
seeing people's faces and the kids, their smiles on their faces.
That's exactly it. Because sometimes your back hurts.
Mhm.
You're tired. You haven't seen. Haven't
And
spent
you're
a lot
working
of time.
full-time and doing this too.
And then when I go to an event or I drop the bikes and I see those kids' faces and I see them running like mine, or can I have that, mister? It's like, some of them, I'm fortunate enough to speak Spanish, so sometimes I'm relating to those kids in Spanish, they're just trying to tell me their feelings and their emotions in Spanish of how great it was to receive this bike.
Well, that's great.
What a miracle, Guys, thank you, sir. Thank you, mister. It's like, no worries. And then the parents coming over, want to shake your hand, and it just makes it all worthwhile.
It makes that heart full.
Oh, I'm gonna shower, yeah, it overflows. And that's probably how I get to refill my heart. I mean, you know, I go out and give all that energy, and when I go and see it and all that, it gets refilled and it gets like.
That's when the energy comes back.
Yeah, the energy, it all comes back. We were talking about energy earlier today, and so it does. It truly does fill you back up, and you're like, wow, this goes back and forth, because they don't realize how much they really are doing for you.
Right.
They don't realize how much you're doing for me.
Exactly.
For me personally.
AJ, we only have about a minute left. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the coat portion? We haven't really talked about that.
We got all excited about
coats. Yeah, we got excited about the bikes.
Yeah, you know, with the coats, well, we...
And these are coats for kids as well.
Coats for kids primarily, but same thing. You know, if you have a used coat and you want to get it to us, it's an adult size, we'll take them as well.
Where would they drop the coats off of it? Everybody has additional coats.
You know, the best thing I will say for now, we really don't have a permanent location. What we're doing is we go into businesses in Highlands Ranch. We go into churches in Highlands Ranch, and then we ask them, you know, First Commercial Bank is very supportive of doing that. They only have a couple locations, one in Lone Tree and one in Highlands Ranch. They have some other ones, I'm not 100% sure where they're located, but they will put a bin in their lobby, and as people come into the bank, they'll drop in their coats, and that's what we picked up. Other than that, we really haven't worked out with anybody other than going to a church and knocking and saying, hey, would you mind putting a couple bins here, and you know, for the next 3 weekends, and then we'll come and collect them. And last year we did get better response. We started getting some people even from Sedalia, Franktown, you know, a little bit of a distance, still Douglas County, but a little bit distant, coming and asking us. I would say for now, just if you're really interested in helping us that way, get a hold of me through the website.
So you have information about the coats on the website?
Yeah, you know, just go to the contact page on the website.
Which the website is again?
www.3tministries.org.
.org.
Yeah, you can do the plural, you can do the singular.
Oh, can you do it plural?
Both.
Okay, good.
I
was going to say, I just said plural.
I cover those bases.
Good job. You were
whichever-
thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, I better buy those in case, you know, somebody, you know, just types it in wrong. But go there, and that's where we can start. That's where I think where we're going to be able to start. And from there on, if you're interested, if your parish or your business wants to help us out, we'll come out and chat a little bit further and figure out how we can help each other out.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, AJ, I want to thank you very much for being on the show. We really enjoyed having you, and we're going to go to break now. But again, 3tministries.org, and you can find more information about AJ's organization. And they do a really good job with the bikes for kids as well as coats for kids. So again, thank you for being on our show today.
I wish you the best.
Oh, thank you to both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.